Hey YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, we're in front of the Razor here. It's a 2011 Razor 800, and we got some goodies with it, but when we went to ride it, we had some troubles trying to figure out where everything went. And there's a few things that I want to change up on this thing, so I'm not sure exactly how the video is going to go. We may end up doing some modifications. We may end up just putting a few pieces and parts on. So let's get this stuff on here, kind of play with it and see what we can make work, what I might need to buy extra pieces for to make work. And I got a box of goodies I need to just kind of look through anyway, so figured I'd take you along for the ride. I think I'm going to start with this back window right here. When we got it, it was kind of folded up, put in a box, and it's kind of dirty, but I'm hoping we can get her a little bit cleaned up. Either way, it'll keep the mud, dust, and wind out of the back end of us, so we'll use it for now. And then I'm sure they make some sort of cleaner, but I mean, otherwise it's in pretty good shape. It just isn't super see-through right here, so we're going to start with soap and water and go from there. But right now I just want to see if I can get it on. And I found a classic accessories thing on here, so I don't know if this came as a Razor thing. Oh, here we go, there's some more on here. It says guard gear or quad gear. I don't have my glasses on. So quad gear from Classic Accessories. So I don't know if that came from Amazon, if it came from Polaris, or who makes it, but that is it right there. And I really do think it'll clean up good. So there's a little hook there. It appears this goes through. And then back around. I'm just going to do it loosely for now so I can adjust it. Do this. Bring the strap back around the back part here. Then I'm assuming through the little loop here. And then it doubles back on itself, and it's got Velcro which sticks it there. Yet again, I'm just leaving it loose so I can maneuver around. And then if you follow the curve here, it appears this goes around here, but the seat belt's kind of in the way, but there is kind of a little hole right here that I think we can actually go through, which will keep this from moving around, and I think that's kind of the plan for this particular one. And it does fit. Now that's pretty tight right there. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up because I'm assuming that this is a pretty good assemblage of where that needs to be. I'm going to wait for the other side. And then we got the hole here. So I've been messing around with this quite a bit, and I've just realized this has got to be for something else. Alright, and we're not in a studio, so therefore you gotta listen to barking dogs. But anyhow, this must go to some other kind of bar or something that you can attach to this, or goes to a different Razor, but this one works for this one. I also noticed that the little loop thing in this one was gone, so I just put a keychain through there, and it appears like it'll be a little tight, but it'll work. Oh, no, I said that. And then this bottom one down here, honestly, I think you're supposed to take the panel apart here and go down underneath this, but I want to be able to take this on and off as I please, and I don't want to mess with that. So there's the one up here on both sides, obviously. There's the one up here, one right here, and this, you know, follows this corner just right. That's why I think this is right. I don't know what that's for. And then another one here and another one down here. Now on the bottom, there is Velcro on the bottom of this, and where there used to be Velcro down here, you can see where the sticky stuff is, but it's been pulled out. So there used to be something there. So I'll have to go pick up some sticky Velcro of some sort and put some more on there, I think, because I really do want to be able to use this. So that seems to somewhat work. We'll have to try it out. We'll have to get it cleaned up. But right now we are just fitting things on and seeing if they're going to work. And I have a cover coming for this thing, and I don't like leaving these inside. It's better to actually put these type of things on, kind of like convertible cars, as long as you don't leave them in the sun, which, like I said, I have a cover coming, but it's better to actually have them on and laid out, and then they'll flatten out and they don't get quite as wrinkly, and they'll actually start molding and things like that if you don't just leave them on when you can. And it also came with the kind of half windshield. This actually looks like a Polaris one. It's pretty sturdy, not positive, but unfortunately we don't have the clamps that clamp onto the bar and then screw to this, so I'm gonna have to look for some of those. And then it came with this as well, the full front glass. Unfortunately it's broken, but we were going to try and use it the other day because it was raining when we were out, and we just could not figure out how to make this kind of work. Basically, we were like all trying to pull this around here, and we tried pulling it off, bringing it around and around here, and it wouldn't work. And then luckily I looked at some videos and I realized that these actually have to turn around and go through here. Then this goes around the bar, and then goes through here, clamps around the bar and clamps. So fairly simple, but if you're like me, don't have instructions, and we're trying to figure it out kind of in the middle of the trail, so to speak, that'll give you an idea of how these work. All right, there we go. Hopefully it's not too scratched up. It seemed pretty all right. It yet again needs cleaned up. I might actually put some tape over that crack just to hopefully make it last a little longer. Something we noticed, you definitely have to make sure that those clips are pushed all the way in so that that will slide in behind there, otherwise it just hits on the edge of the glass. Alright, well, it's not perfect. We threw some packing tape on both sides there, and it doesn't look too bad. And we got this lock and ride trunk thing in here now. Now I will say, the previous owner had 4 spots where he drilled, and I tried going through there and there's really nothing down there. As well as in all 4 corners we got those holes there. That one was taped up. So then it didn't come with any hardware, so I just found some long hardware that I found, and I got them in these ones. Tried doing those back ones, and I just couldn't get my fat fingers down in there well enough, so I'm gonna have to mess with that more. But I think in all actuality, where he has these right here are on top of kind of a frame, and if I can figure out, I'm gonna pull this all off at some point and see if I can put nut zerts in inside that little frame area, and if I can do that without damaging anything, that's probably my plan, and then I can bolt and unbolt this as I please. But regardless, right now I got a couple in there. They're bolted down pretty good. Now I will say that those, there's the big giant holes like these here is what I went through, but it's in, you know, all 4 corners, so you can tell that's kind of the plan for this. But I'm wondering if there's something I can put in those, or something like that that holds this, if it comes with something like that originally. If anybody knows that, give me a holler and put a comment below. I'd appreciate it. But because these are so big and thick, I had to use some pretty stack of big washers, and a pretty long bolt, and it's just kind of this little piece down here. So we'll see how well it works. I don't know, as I'm gonna probably won't keep it mounted that way, but for today we're gonna go out, so, and I really want to be able to use this. So far I've been able to use the front windshield, the rear windshield, and the trunk. The half windshield I'm also going to need some sort of mounts for, so yet again, down below if you could comment what kind of mounts I can use for that, or if there's mounts I can buy somewhere at a decent price, I would appreciate that. I got a box more. This was all in that trunk. There's like 3 different kinds of mirrors, none of which appear to have any mounts with them. Came with a little ball hitch, or a little ball, and some remotes for, there's a bunch of remotes in here. Came with a couple spark plugs in here that I have in there. Some doodads and thermal-jig clip things that now I need to pick up. And some push button clips as well. So it came with this right here for putting in the back of it, but it sticks out a little way, so I just took it off for now because I don't need to pull anything right now. But I do think it probably would make an okay pulling point, although the more I look at it, the more I am not sure I may be rebuilding that, but right now I have it. The rest of this stuff is still yet to be put on and did not come with it, so stay tuned. Oh, one other thing I forgot. There's also these whip things here. These are what the remotes are for. They change different colors. Came with a couple of those. I keep on thinking I'm done with stuff that we got with it, but I forgot. We also put this thing in here. And it's a nice bag. I really like this. Works really good for putting stuff in the middle of you. The only downside I see to this, and I will be modifying it, is right here, these clips hook onto here, and it kind of gets in the way of this when you want to remove it to check your oil and things like that. Well, yet another thing it did have in there was this light here. It does work. I think the batteries are dying. You have to push on it pretty hard. But it does kind of work, but it seems pretty light. So I need to look and see how I change batteries in this thing. And it actually came, it was hooked to the roll bar in this little pouch thing here. I don't know if this actually came with this or is something that is extra, because it actually has a magnet. But I tried the magnet on the roll bar and it doesn't stick well enough. So if you get one of these, don't plan on the magnet actually sticking very well for you. But it's held up to a couple rides now inside this thing. But I haven't really used it. We haven't gone out at night. And then we got these right here, hand grips. I really didn't realize how much I was using these, but anytime it gets just a little bit tippy one way or the other, I'm definitely using these quite a bit, so I'm glad I have these as well. They came with it. It's classic quad gear. So there's a couple, the back window and these are both classic quad gear, and they seem to be pretty decent products for a really good prices from what I'm seeing. I actually kind of looked around just to kind of see what these things were all going for, and I think these were like less than 20 bucks. And I'm not sure if you get two of them or not, but there's two of them on here and I'm glad they're here. Right. And last but not least, obviously there is a top. Pretty nice top. Unfortunately, there's been quite a few holes in areas done on it, and there's a couple places where he brought the wires through and cut on the back, but I think I'll be able to kind of fix some of those spots if I don't end up using them myself or something like that. And I've actually found a few of these on whatever marketplace thing, and they're not too awful bad. But because it was a pretty warm day, we did actually open up the back cover. We left that on for a while, but I went ahead and opened that up to let some more air through, and that was pretty nice as well. We do have snow and cold weather, so I'm sure when it snows that's going to be really nice when it's colder to keep any of the heat in we can. So we'll test that out a little bit more in the winter time. I'm also just leaving it up, and that way we can pull it down if we want to, put it up if we want to, if it's raining or something like that. The lights I have not had a chance to test out very well, so there'll be future on that. The signals and all the road going stuff, all the front stuff works, but unfortunately, other than the tail lights, brake lights, and those kind of things, the actual signal lights don't work on this, as well as the lights for the whips, which I don't see myself using the whips, not for a while anyway, so I'm probably not going to worry about that part, but I think if I get the rest working, that'll probably start working. So there's going to be some electrical coming up. As far as the mirrors, love the mirrors. They work really good. I end up knocking them all the time. fly in, and then I can push them out fairly easy. So, and I really like having the mirrors. That's definitely something I would put on your rig if you don't have them. The trunk, loving the trunk. There's still plenty of space with the trunk in there to put some tools. We got a cooler that sits down in there really nice on the other side of it, and then ratchet everything down. I'm really happy with that trunk. We didn't use it the first time we used this rig, and I had some stuff kind of bouncing around a little bit, and I didn't like it. And then we threw that in. I got more stuff in there. I feel safer. So very happy with that trunk. I'm glad we got that as well. I really liked this. We took it out one time without this on here, and although it doesn't allow you to breathe as well, so I definitely want to try the half glass as well to see if we like that better. But we were going through some really tight trails with sticks and stuff, and they were scratching all over this thing, and I didn't find that it scratched up all that bad. And I'm pretty sure it's one of the cheapy Amazon ones. I'm not positive, but you know, it's a little scratched here and there, but I really liked it. Those handholds, really liked them, used them quite a bit, so very happy I got those as well. There's really nothing that came with this machine that I'm not happy I got. Things that I would definitely, there's probably a reason why it came with this machine. It's probably the things that a lot of people get. Future upgrades, I'm getting harnesses. They're on the way, some 4-point harnesses. I got tires and wheels that I've already bought for it. So keep an eye out for that. I plan on changing the lights. These lights are done for somebody who did more open stuff, and we go in a lot of places and we've been just smashing the heck out of these things, and actually for cheap lights as well. I think the whole kit, when I looked it up, was less than $100 for the whole entire kit. I think you had to buy the switches on top of that as well, so which they're in here. But we've been banging them up pretty good, and so far they've held up as far as I can tell, and they do work. I've turned them on. I just haven't been late night where I'm using them. But I do plan on actually putting them under and modifying those somewhat. So I think that's everything this thing came with. I'm glad I got it all, and I'll have updates of all of it later on, as well as quite a few different things that I plan on adding to it. So get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and a master of none. You all have a good one.